Hey YouTube, this is Neil here from BlinkLite and BlinkLiteTV.co.uk. I've got an unboxing and a review for you today, and today we're going to be reviewing the Kobo Touch. It's currently on sale in WH Smith's and other retailers as far as I know for the credible price of $29.99. Now the Touch and the Touch Mini, both at $29.99, should be retailing for $59.99 and $89.99 for the Touch. So as you can imagine, fantastic saving at the moment. So if you're in the market for an ebook reader, we're going to have a quick look at this and see if it's worth the money. The Kobo is a black and white unit, so don't be mistaken to think it's a colour unit. It is black and white. It uses the e-ink system, so it is good for low light levels, and it's supposed to be, and we're going to see how well it works, it's supposed to be easier on the eyes when you're reading. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick look at the box, see what the specifications are, crack the box open and have a look at the unit. So let's have a quick look first. It says it holds up to 1000 ebooks. However, this unit also has the ability to take a micro SD card, which allows you to upgrade its capacity to 30,000 books. So as you can imagine, a massive amount of books available. It's 114 by 165 millimeters in dimensions, and it's only 10 millimeters thick, so extremely thin, and weighing just in at 221 grams, so it should be fairly light. So yes, let's do the all important opening the box. Okay, let's pop this bad boy open and see what we got. Okay, come on, you know you want to come out. There we go. Okay, first things first, obviously we have the e-reader itself. So let's see if we can pop this out of its case. Catapulting it across the room. There we go. And she's out. Okay, let's just have a quick look at this then. Okay, if we look at the front of the Kobo, it's a very sleek, simple design, and I don't mean this in a negative way. It's just nice that it's very simplistic, very stylish. It's not over cluttered. As you can see, all we've got is just a home button on the front, which is brilliant. If you switch around to the bottom, you can see, if we get a nice focus on this, there we go. You've got the mini USB connector on the bottom. Again, nothing over cluttering, no extra controls. Sides are very sleek. On the top we've got the power button and a small LED to indicate when the unit's on, when it's loading, when it's charging. And on the back we've got this leatherette almost beveled effect, which, to be honest with you, for something like a Kobo, or any ebook reader for that matter, you don't want a smooth back surface, because at the end of the day you're going to be holding it either two-handed or one-handed, kind of like this. My nice imitation of holding an ebook reader. But what you don't need is a really smooth surface on the back that's going to slip out your fingers. It's going to be difficult to hold. It's going to be uncomfortable to use. So on a quick look round, very nice. The front surface, I'm noticing a slight amount of finger marking on there, but again nowhere near as much as you get if you had a piano black surface. And on the whole, yeah, feeling very nice. It's powered off at the moment. I'll do a video in a minute with it powered on once we've gone through the computer and show you what it's like when it's running. Let's return back to the box and see what else they've given us. So we'll just move that to one side for a moment. Okay, what we got here? Safety information. Please read the user manual in full before you begin the operation and use of your device. Okay. EU Declaration of Conformity means it's not shouldn't interfere with any other equipment. Brilliant. And here we have our user manual. What have we got here? Plug your e-reader into your computer. Use a browser to visit the Kobo setup page. Download and install Kobo Desktop. Start Kobo Desktop to finish setup. And on the other side, charge by connecting to your computer. So that's it really. Power button on the top, as we've already seen. Card reader on the side, USB on the bottom, home button, and a reset button on the back. Always slightly worrying when they show you where the reset button is, but hopefully you won't need to use that. What else we got? Cardboard insert, always useful. And a USB charging and data lead. And that is it. So what we're going to do, we're going to plug it into the computer, get it charged up, get the software on. We'll do a quick review of the software, and then we'll see how the actual unit works itself. Okay, so we're back. I'm going to be honest, and be bluntly honest. The Kobo software that is bundled from the Kobo setup, personal opinion, is rubbish. I'm going to hold my hands up. Personal opinion only, absolute rubbish. I was going to include a video of me installing the software and then configuring the Kobo itself. We had a number of problems to start with. The first one was the Kobo wouldn't actually detect on the computer. That was the first main issue we encountered. That turns out, I think, and this is something that may only affect some of you, the headset I was using to record the voiceover was a Plantronics headset with a USB interface. Now I feel it's probable that the Plantronics was pulling more power off the front USB ports than the Kobo was happy with. Therefore there wasn't enough power for the Kobo to fire up the hard drive inside it properly and install. As soon as the Plantronics headphones were unplugged, the Kobo installed. So first things, slight problem. If you're not particularly tech savvy, that could be a major issue for you to start with. You plug your Kobo in and nothing happens. So slight as I can't blame the Kobo for that itself, but it would just be nice to have a little one-line thing in the instructions on the software to say this may happen, just to be aware of it. So moving us on from that, getting the software itself. The instructions do say to go to kobosetup.com, so I will put my hands up on that one and say they do tell you where to go for the software. However, normally for manufacturers you can get the same software from their main website, kobo.com. On this occasion, and it could be me being completely blind and just not seeing it, I couldn't find it. So it did take me a couple of minutes to actually get hold of the software and go to kobosetup.com. Once we had the software, installed it, not particularly a large file, 131 meg, so we are running pretty small in comparison for file sizes, so not too bad for that. Software installed relatively simply. I can't say there's any problem with that, and then we fired the application up. Plug the Kobo in. Application, after we did have that slight power issue, application does bring a new screen on for the Kobo itself, and then it began what I can only describe as one of the slowest and least responsive install and setup processes ever. You have to sign up for a Kobo account, which is an annoyance straight off. You may not want to purchase any books through the Kobo system, but still you have to sign up for one of their accounts. Not too big an issue. Username, email address and a password are all they ask for. In fact, thinking about it, not even a username, just an email and a password. Software installed. Detects the Kobo and then starts an upgrade process, which is understandable. You know, there's going to be new pieces of application that it wants to update, which is fine. Here's my bugbear with that though. The progress bar doesn't move. So all the way through the update process, when it's bringing all the data onto the Kobo itself, according to the progress bar, it's on 0%. Now that is an instant in my book frustration, because what's the point of a progress bar if it doesn't move? But no hang-ups, no crashes, loads of software. Brilliant. So we get into the Kobo Desktop Software, and there are three options. You have you have books, library, and one I can't remember. That's how much the software's left a lasting impression on me. There are some settings and preferences. Preferences allow you to change the language. That's it. You can eject the device. Library allows you to select books you might want to read. Books shows what's on the device. Now, I've worked in computers for 13 years, and I couldn't find anywhere on that system, I couldn't find anything intuitive to say, add a book. Now, maybe it's me being a bit slow, but the whole point of an ebook reader, I would say, and especially the interface software is what it tells you to download, is that you can click an option and say add book. If you've got a book, if it supports multiple formats, click a button to say add format, add book. So, started to get very frustrated with the software, and in fact what I might do is actually include, there is a video of me having somewhat of a rant about the software, so I might include that as well, just for humorous value, so you'll see exactly what I'm referring to.
Let's take a quick look to how to browse the bookstore. OK, continue. If you know what you're looking for, simply search out bookstore by title or by author. Next. You can browse by category and reading list here, or check out our recommendations and feature titles below. Click sync to update your e-reader with all your purchases, reading progress and annotations. Next. Be sure to click the eject button before disconnecting your e-reader from your computer. Well, that's pretty standard. Bookstore, find and buy new ebooks, read and organise your Kobo books, read your books in Kobo Desktop. Click before disconnecting your e-reader. Keep your library up to date across devices, manage your details or sign out, and change your language and settings. Okay, next. Let's start adding books. If you have no recommendations, tell us what you'd like. So yes, basically in the software, as you can see, we've got a series of what they're recommending. That's a new word. What they're recommending, featured, and new releases. But what we do want to do is go to the library. I'm guessing this is where we can add books. You don't have any books in your library. Help us recommend books for you by telling us what you've read and what you'd like. Nope, don't particularly want to do that at the moment. E-reader. I can eject it, that's fine. Brilliant. Slightly okay. Slowly but surely getting more I've got my new words here. Getting more and more unimpressed with this application actually as we go through. Less random, because I don't really care too much about this. So no, 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 and no. Okay, I'm done. That's brilliant. So it jumps you back from the library to the bookstore. Okay, we're syncing desktop, which is wonderful, but how do I actually put books on myself? There's no file system that I can see. That's my account, that's sync, that's eject, that's to change very, very little. I can change my my language, which is brilliant. We're syncing Kobo Desktop. That's fantastic. Honestly can say at the moment seriously becoming unimpressed with the application. The Kobo reader itself seems fine from what I can tell, but the physical software itself is pants. I don't normally use you know, I wouldn't normally class an application straight off as this, but at the end of the day, you've given me an application to manage my books, which is fine. It says that it supports PDF, Mobi, and a list of other ones, which is fantastic. One of the reasons, obviously, that I looked at it was that it wasn't proprietary to one thing. But what it is appearing to do is not allow me to actually add any books. I can't right click. Left click doesn't do anything. I don't have any books in my library. Well, there's a reason for that. You're not letting me add anything. So, not really 100% sure what on earth I'm supposed to do here, because, you know, there's nothing that I can see I can actually do with it. So honestly can say, at the moment, Kobo, you've written a completely useless piece of software here, and I'm going to have to find something else now to do it. Great, you know, I've got full progress. Great. Okay, I'm done. Oh, and we're back to the bookstore again, where we're still syncing content, even though I can't actually see anything on the Kobo itself. Looking at it, I've still got visit our website, keep your e-reader plugged in, and use a browser to download the Kobo software. So, at the second, software-wise, Kobo, seriously not impressed with your software at all. So yeah, what I'm going to have to do on that one, I'm just going to leave it, and we'll see what it does. See if I get another page come up on the library when it's actually done its syncing. So I'm going to pause this video for now, because there isn't actually much point me leaving you looking at a syncing. Oh, we're loading. So I think it might have heard me. It's loading something. Your latest books are in your library. Well, that's fantastic. So let's see if we get anything new now. Nope, back to the library, and I'm looking at exactly the same thing as I've done before. Done. And we're back to there again. Oh, we're syncing the Kobo desktop again, which we've already done once. I'm just making sure I'm not seeing anything down here that shouldn't be. Nope, everything's reading fine in there.
What I've decided to do is I've installed Calibre, which is an open platform version of an ebook management software. It's C-A-L-B-R-E, Calibre. Free download, it's not going to cost you anything. Supports multiple devices, multiple formats. It took me about, at maximum, 5 minutes to install the software. Import my the ebooks I already currently have onto the system, onto the Calibre software. The Kobo had obviously been already detected when I first plugged it in, so I plugged it in again, and it picked up. It did ask me what device it was: iPhone, Kindle, a whole list of them. I saw the Kobo and the Kobo Touch is listed. Installed it, plugged the unit in, it picked it up, click device, send books to device, and within practically, I would say 30 seconds at maximum, they're on the unit. That to me is software that works well. I've gone to the application, I've never used Calibre before, and within 5 minutes I have the device set up on the unit, books added to Calibre, and on the unit. That is the whole point of easy to use software. So Kobo, I might be missing something. It could be very simple that I've just missed something on your software. But for an end user who's just bought your ebook reader, taken it out of the box, I couldn't see how to add an ebook to it. I can purchase ones, but I may already have a library of completely legitimate either PDF or EPUB or Mobi books that I want to put on that reader, and your software I can't find out how to do. I will have another look around the software. I might be missing something blatantly obvious, and I may do another video to say it's the most fantastic software in the world, but first impressions was not impressed with Kobo Desktop Software at all. So if buying one of these units, which at the moment, and I will do a quick heads down on this just so you can see what I think, very nice, very responsive, very, very clear text, has a real book feel to it. Some people, before I purchased it myself, I saw some reviews and it did seem slightly unresponsive. Its only thing you have to remember is it is touch sensitive, so you have to be precise with your touch. That's it. Apart from that, absolutely, so far, very impressed. So what we'll do a quick top down just so I can show you what I mean.
Okay, now we've got the software installed on the computer, and as you've seen from my previous video, all the fun and games I had with that. What we'll do now, we've got some books on the e-reader, we'll just quickly turn it on and see what we can do. So, one-handed, very professional. To turn it on, you just slide the power button, get the green light to say it's powering up and then it goes to blue. And on the front panel, you get a lovely little smiley face as it's loading up. So we can get a better grip on it now. The one-handed wobble test. Okay, just got a few books on there at the moment that I've transferred across from the computer. On the intro, well, the first screen, as you can see, it shows you what you're currently reading on this one, and the last few books you've read. You've got the library on the right hand side to show everything you've got stored, and it also shows the information for the syncing. What we'll do at the bottom, very similar to the software actually, in the sense you've got the library which is showing correctly what's on there, the bookstore and extras, and if you go to the top we've got a simple, I do this one-handed, is not the easiest thing. In fact, what we'll do, we'll cheat ever so slightly, we'll put it down, let's move a few things out of the way. This is not ultra professional. Let's move that out of the way as well. The joys of starting in reviewing. It will get better, I can assure you. Okay. So we'll go quickly to the settings at the top. Try and do this so you can see what's going on. So you've got your battery indicator here. I've just caught that button onto the right hand side. This basically shows you some more information about the device. It's showing that I've got my Wi-Fi turned on and connected to my home Wi-Fi. The battery indicator on how much is left, when it was last synced, and I've also got a settings button here. Now I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to go through all these settings myself. The account you'll have set up on the computer when you first install the software, date and time, language, Wi-Fi connection, syncing and updates, sleep and power, those on their own you will have set up when you turn the unit on, chances are. Reading settings, let's just have a quick look at this myself. Yes, reading settings allows you to change how to turn the page, how often the page, the system refreshes its screen, because obviously using the e-ink system, there will be a residual amount of ink left behind on each reload of the page, or each load of the page. So after so long, and at the moment as you can see I've got it set to 6 pages, it will actually refresh the page completely. The picture will go negative and you'll get your picture come back again, which is very useful. It does keep quite a clear image, and obviously you can drop that to 1 page if you wanted, but I'm finding at the moment, I've had a quick play around with it, and 6 pages is quite good. Let's go to page 2. Go to page 2, I hit it twice. There we go. You can show the information regarding your Adobe pubs and also stats and awards. Now I've got them turned both on at the moment. I haven't been using the unit long enough to actually see any real, I don't want to say benefit, but see what they actually realistically do, especially the track reading activity and the stats and awards. Let's just quickly go back to, I'll put my finger around there, back to the front page again, and I'll just load up a quick book for you. Currently doing a course for C programming. The one thing you will notice with this unit is you do have to be quite precise when you press the buttons. If you don't, you may find on occasions it does actually miss what you're trying to do. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, why is this book looking so bad? It doesn't even fit the page. What's actually happened is I've I've expanded it because I was reading a bit of text, needed to check something in detail, so I've actually zoomed it. Now to zoom it, what you do, if you just press to the bottom of the screen, you'll get a nice little sub-menu turn up. The one we want to actually do, I'll show them individually first. You've got the table of contents, annotation, search book and definition. So obviously the table of contents, you'll go back to the first page and be able to scroll through pages. The second one allows you to skip through the pages in the book. And now you can see what I mean about the button presses. I'm not actually being positive on my button press, and therefore I'm not getting what I want. Or is it? Okay. Now, like with most things in life, I've done this a million times and it's worked every time, apart from this time I'm filming it and it decides it doesn't want to do it. Okay, zoom in. So, I was beginning to say the unit had crashed, but it does appear to be working. It could be, to be honest with you, something strange went on there, because looking back, I've loaded the page and it's actually loading as it should have the first time. I had zoomed it in, so let's just check that again quickly. That's better, that's exactly what it should be doing. Oh dear. Okay, this one is to zoom the picture in, so if we just tap it, as you'll see, it's getting larger and larger and larger still. We can also use the icons at the bottom to either have it fit left to right, fit top to bottom, or we can actually rotate the screen. The only annoyance, and I will say it's an annoyance, is the fact that the page rotates, and yes, you can scroll up and down, but the controls stay this side. So that's a slightly strange thing to do, but again, that's just one of them small things. I'm sure future updating may change. Okay, and we'll bring that back to normal, tap the bottom, scroll it back out, and voila, back to normal. So we'll close that down now. And then you've got your reading settings, which we saw before, but you can access them while in book again, so you can access them from here. Let's close you down. Now I could edit that slight piece out when we had a fault with it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it in. You know, the Kobo is an electronic piece of equipment at the end of the day, and everything in life occasionally can have the odd blip. That was a blip. It's the first time I've actually had that blip, which is why I was a little bit unsure how to clear it, but on the whole, no, not a problem. So, okay, let's just go back to the library. Sorry, that's me. That's telling me some information, not allowing me to go to it. Press the home button, back to the library, that's better. Tap another book. Now the one thing you will notice is when you've selected a book, as you can see, it does take a few seconds to actually load. Don't tap the book and think it's not working and keep tapping the book. It is loading, it does take a few seconds to load. Any Steve Jobs haters? It's just a book I'm reading. No love of Mac, no more than a love of PC. So I just want to get that out of the way before I get any Mac haters saying, oh, I can't believe you're reading Steve Jobs' book. At the end of the day, it's a book. So to scroll backwards and forwards in the pages, you can use the menu at the bottom which I've shown, which you can jump multiple pages, or if you simply tap the right side or the left side of the screen, you'll either progress forward or progress backwards. And what I'll do is I'll keep going until we hit the 6-page limit, and then you'll see the entire page reload. And there we go. Now that wasn't the best, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what's actually happened there? I'm sure it's doing this to make me look daft. There was actually 2 pages on that which were identical, so it did actually change, but you didn't see any difference because it was an identical front page. So we'll do it again just to show you. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, you saw the negative image. So on the whole, I know that video wasn't necessarily the best in the world, and it could have been a lot better, but first impressions, as I said, I've been using it for a little while, and actually I'm not having any real problems with it. It's quite a nice little unit. I'm quite happy with it. So that's a brief overview on it actually running, and we'll move on to the next bit.
Okay, so a quick final overview of the Kobo Touch. I've been using it now for about probably a month, slightly longer maybe, and overall impressions I have to say are really good. There's a few tiny little things that I need to point out, which are actually contrary to what I said earlier in the review. To start with, I said that the Kobo works well in low light levels, which actually is a lie. It doesn't work at all in low light, in low light levels. The reason for that being, with the e-ink system, it's very closely mimicking a book, which is the advantage for your eyes. It's very, I won't say soft on the eyes, but it does give a nice image. It does really mimic a book. So for those of you that like reading books over more electronic media, I would actually recommend the Kobo, because it does give you a very, very close feeling to reading a book. You don't necessarily get the texture of obviously a book, which you can't, but as for the actual reading of a book, the style of the ink, the print, very, very closely matches it. The downside, of course, of that is there's no backlight in the unit. So in bright light, it does seem to work well. I mean, obviously, if you're shining a light directly at the screen, you're naturally going to get some form of glare come back off it. You can't get away from that fact. If it's more the sun, so it's not a direct light straight onto it, it's a more of an ambient, it's bright, it does cope well. Read it in the dark, which I wouldn't suggest doing regardless, even if you've got a backlit screen. Reading anything in the dark is not going to be good for your eyes. But trying to read the Kobo in the dark, you won't see a thing. Literally, I tried it one evening, decided, wife had gone to bed, I decided to catch up on a bit of reading I needed to do, had the lights on low, and I couldn't see a thing. So, just a little note, and you will find as well, I've been looking around, some of the cases for the Kobo actually come with a small light attachment on them, a small either battery or a rechargeable USB light. For that exact reason, if you're reading them in low light, you will need some form of light source, which is fine. Apart from that, as I said, I'm really actually impressed, especially for the price. Whether or not it's still retailing at $29.99, I don't know. But I've had this, as I said, a month. I haven't used it all day, every day, by any means. I have used it a lot, and there have been times when I've gone between using it every day, reading it a lot, especially at lunchtimes at work, to not using it at all. And I think you find that with a lot of technology. Unless it's something you use every day, there will be times that you'll have breaks. The battery life, however, you've got to remember that when I first got this Kobo, I did a quick review to start with, which obviously is part of this video, and you've just seen that. and this was on charge for probably half an hour, if that. Could be less. We're still on 74% battery life. Now, I have seen other reviewers that say that the month battery life that Kobo say you can get is incorrect. I would actually say, and I will probably put this to the test and put a small note underneath just to see. I think he probably could get very close to a month off one charge. It's actually a very nice little unit at a fantastic price. There are a few glitches, as I've already said, with the Kobo software, but with the Calibre software that I'm using on it, absolutely no problems at all. It can convert between formats, and what I'm going to do, you should see a follow-up video at some point of me reviewing the Calibre software, and really seriously impressed with that software, very nice. But I'm not going to go too much into that at the moment because, as I said, obviously I'm going to do a review video of that one as well. If you've got any comments, if you've got any suggestions, post them underneath the video. I'll try and reply to as many people as I can. Obviously, I'm not expecting hundreds and hundreds of people to be reviewing this video. But if you've got a question, you've got something you want to say, you've got a suggestion, you've got something you might be wanting me to either review or to talk about, feel free to post the comments below and I'll try and answer as many people as I can. So until next time, keep a good one.